What's going on, everybody? So today we're talking about family set bonuses and why I absolutely hate them. Let's get into it. All right, so I'm a little late to the game here. I'm Paragon 227, you can see, but I wanted to test out all the family set bonuses as well as just some attributes and what I wanted to go with. And I wanted to explain something to you all, and the reason why I think these are absolute trash. The family set bonuses, the Reforged bonuses are actually quite good, and the reason why I haven't really delved too far into these quite yet is because when we were early on, I wanted to save my Reforged stones for this point in the game when we get to these level 16 pieces of gear and we can go for the family attributes. But it turns out that there's a huge portion of this that's missing from the tooltip, and I'm honestly getting a little sick of it because this is something that's been in the game in terms of like mechanics in the game since the beginning of it. And that is these random hidden caps that the tooltips in the game do not explain to you. Now, first off, I have a bonus family attribute here. That's why I'm on the right side of the screen. And we have the one with the absorption shield. I'm gonna go ahead and take off my Blessing of the Worthy and jump into a challenge rift to show you what this one kind of looks like. All of them, some of them rather, are pretty impactful, but with this mechanic that we did not know previously, well, we are really down on these family attributes because the chances are so low already, and then you cannot stack basically family attributes because of this mechanic, and that is the cooldown here, at least from what I've tested. So you can see here, we're just going to take a bunch of hits here. Maybe we die. Hopefully we don't, and hopefully the shield procs. Again, it's a very low chance, so it will take quite a while if it even does proc. You can see here we're just taking a bunch of damage, and whenever we will go ahead and get that that shield procking, we'll have to sit here and hopefully we get that shield. This is making me wonder if I even have it activated. We do have to take about 50 hits on average to go ahead and activate it. So right here, let's just see on this one. 2% chance when attacked to gain a shield. Did we just miss it? Oh, geez. I have no idea what's going on here. We cannot get our shield activated, even if it does have... Oh, there it is. So there's the shield activated, and it's a decent shield. But the problem with this is that once it's activated, it actually has a cooldown within the family bonus. I hate this. I don't know why this even exists. It's kind of like, first off, it doesn't say it in the tooltip, which is a big problem in of itself. I don't really know what the cooldown is exactly. For my testing, maybe it's around that 40 to 80 seconds mark. Again, I can't tell specifically because of the RNG factor within it. And I've only ran, like 5 to 6 tests on this so far, just back to back. You can see here, I'm just going to sit here for a long time. And while we talk about this, because this specific part of it is so irritating to me. For one, it's not in the game, so you don't know that it exists, which is why I wanted to create this video and talk about how I think they're absolute garbage. But the second thing is, you really don't get a crazy amount of value from these things because the chance is so crazy low already. You can see that I didn't proc it a second time, and maybe that was just RNG. You do have a low chance, but I've noticed that this thing does have an internal cooldown as I'm going through all these different content. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Even if it doesn't, I would still rather go with the strategy that I'm going to present to you in this later part of the video. But I've noticed, at least from my testing, that they do have an internal cooldown. And so I highly recommend that you don't even go for these family attributes. Instead, min-max your class specifically to what bonuses you want on your character, and each class is going to be a little different. Now, there are a few family bonuses that I will mention that are quite solid regardless, and that's going to be your Tremor Stone. I think the Tremor Stone can be very impactful. After that, your Vengeance Stone. The only problem with the Vengeance Stone is, like, let's say you're going to use this one in PvE content. There's a high chance that you'll never get this to proc in your boss fight. So, keep that in mind. This one might not even be worth it. Honestly, all of these, except for Tremor Stone, are kind of on the low end for me. And I'd only go for Tremor Stone purely for PvP content. And that's the only reason. Now, with all that being said, I do think there's an awesome strategy for reforging your gear pieces. And I'm going to go over that here. So you can see here on each one of my gear pieces a bunch of different options. Now, one of the options here that I think is exceptionally good is beneficial effect duration. Now, I can't remember exactly. I believe it's, yes, it's the Jolt family. You can see beneficial effects by 1.5 to 3%. I, as a barb, am going to max stack beneficial effect duration due to how my class works. Now, there's quite a few classes out here that can take a lot of use out of this. For example, running something like a satyr can get some big use out of this. Even some other classes like Necro could potentially get some big use out of this. Even another class like Demon Hunter, maybe with Smokescreen or something, some other buff that you might be getting could get a lot of use out of this. But you don't have to just go for beneficial effect duration on every class. That's not the only good one. That's what I want to mention. For example, on Demon Hunter, highly recommend you go for primary attack damage, perhaps critical hit damage. You can even have primary attacks have a chance to reduce attack and movement speed on Demon Hunter. Or maybe you want to go for mix up with maybe attack speed increase or damage to demons and min-max your specific dungeon running build. Or even if you're playing a satyr, maybe you want to go for maximum life plus block chance plus beneficial effect duration. What I'm saying here is that there's so many different combinations of stats that are really good for certain classes, and you would much rather go for those rather than the family attributes, in my opinion. Now, the reason why I had never made a video about this is because I didn't really want to test it myself. You can see here I've been just randomly re-rolling a bunch of stuff on all my gear pieces. I have not tested because I wanted to save my Reforged Stones when we get to the family attributes. Little did I know that they had an internal cooldown on it and they're basically trash, at least from my perspective. So therefore, I'm going to go back to my original idea, and that is just to go for basic stats. And that means that for the barb here, I am going to go for that beneficial effect duration. After that, I'm not quite sure what I want to go for. I could definitely go for stun resistance, knockback resistance, cheat death chance, could even be good. Damage to players, maximum life are all good options. Again, damage to players, once again, attack speed increase, and overall just some other ones that I may or may not want. Me personally, I think attack speed is one of the best stats in the entire game. So if you want to go for the most overall, generally useful ones, attack speed, beneficial effect duration, critical hit damage, skill damage, those are going to be the ones that are going to be good for every single class out there. Pretty much. Beneficial effect duration is the only one that I think may not be good for every class, but can be really good for certain classes. Also, maximum life is always good. So I think what I'm going to do here is go for attack speed plus beneficial effect duration, and then I'm going to amplify that perhaps with maximum life. And I'm going to be reforging through here. I actually think these Reforged Stones can give you some massive, massive power bonuses. If you just calculate this out here, let's just assume here I get like a middling roll for all these different situations. So for beneficial effect duration, let's just say I get about 2% per gear piece. And then for attack speed, let's say I get 1.5%. And then life, let's say I get, just make it simple, 1%. That means I'm going to get 6% life. That means I'm going to go ahead and get 12% beneficial effect duration. And that also means I'm going to go ahead and get 9% attack speed, which is 1/3 of a permanent Vithu set. That's also 1/3 of a two-piece Vithu set for beneficial effect duration. And then the maximum life, or potentially going for that, is going to be 6% of my maximum life, which could be about 5k HP. Again, these are insane bonuses in terms of HP or damage. However, the beneficial effect duration is going to amplify everything I do, as well as the attack speed is going to speed up my animations and give me more damage over in the long run, which is really, really important. So that's what I recommend for you all. Figure out what class you are, what bonuses you want, and maybe I'll have a full list on what I would go for each one of these classes, because I do think it is a little specified. And then focus on those stats. Again, something like Demon Hunter with primary attack damage increase plus primary attack speed increase could be very, very good. And I highly recommend you all look out for this stuff. So just want to give you a quick PSA. Again, correct me if I'm wrong on the internal cooldown. I have not been able to go ahead and test it very conducively because of the fact that they are super RNG based. And I have not run enough tests quite yet. But before you all go and reforge expecting some great family bonus, I did want to put this video out. I have seen some other people talking about some internal cooldowns, so I don't think I'm the only one. But again, if I am wrong, please do correct me in the comment section down below. Regardless if I'm wrong, I do think that the better strategy is just to go for the best stats possible, due to the fact that some of these bonuses are really, really underwhelming. I may have a video testing out every set and showcasing it each individually, like that barrier stone, so you can go ahead and make it a choice yourself. But again, I wanted to get this out before using your Reforged Stones. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, hit that sub button as well as like the video. Again, I want to know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll see you for the next one.